Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to close. That's it. As you breathe in and breathe out, just allow that resourceful feeling of relaxation to go in through your nose into your lungs. And as you exhale, allow any feelings of stress, tension, and anxiety to leave your body in your outward breath, enabling you to go deeper and deeper, relaxed. That's it. As you allow your body to relax, I want your imagination to become more activated. I want you to imagine what life would be like in quarantine permanently. If a baby was born in an environment where they never got to go outside, everything was always sterilized. They wouldn't be able to make contact with other humans. And I want you to imagine seeing that baby growing up in this quarantine, sterilized environment for their entire life. But I want you to imagine that this baby was one of two twins, and the other twin had a normal life. And the baby that had the normal life occasionally got sick, got the occasional cough, the occasional cold, sometimes high temperatures. And while it was worrying for their parents, the baby always got better. And in doing so, built up an immune system, a strong immune system. And I want you to follow both lives of these identical twins, one spending a life in quarantine, filled with loneliness, and the other being around people and all the things connected with people, the garbage, people eating in their presence, going to school, going to college, and going around people that occasionally are sick or ill, or chewing gum, maybe even coughing occasionally. And I want you to notice that on their 18th birthday, both of these twins are reunited. And they go out in the world. And I want you to notice that the twin that was in quarantine hasn't developed those social skills. Seems meek, vulnerable, hasn't built up any resilience or confidence, doesn't really have a personality. And notice just how sick that quarantined child, which is now a young adult, seems to be getting. As you accept the suggestion that sometimes overprotection is the biggest risk. And I want you to imagine that you're going out on a walk. And I want you to imagine that you're wearing glasses. And these glasses mean that everything that you see through these glasses means that anything that has any possibility of germs, infection, or bacteria, you now look at through the lens of, it may be disgusting, but it is harmless and manageable. And I want you to imagine going out on a walk. Perhaps you're there taking your dog with you. And I want you to imagine seeing some chewing gum there on the floor. And through those glasses, you can just see it as completely harmless and is manageable just by not getting too close to it. You can accept it's disgusting with no desire to get close. And then imagine As you continue to walk, you see the gates and the railings. And maybe you think of how many hands have been touching those gates and those railings. I want you to get a sense that even if you touch them, even then it's still harmless and manageable. But if you perceived it to be something, let's say, undesirable, just by having some gloves or having some antibacterial gel in your pocket, consider how harmless and manageable that situation is. As you continue walking on your walk, I want you to imagine there's big garbage bags. And maybe there's been a raccoon or a fox nearby that's got into them and it's strewn around. And maybe there's a smell of rotting food in that garbage bag. And you can accept it's disgusting and yet still feel it's harmless and manageable. I want you to imagine walking past some office buildings, and maybe there's office workers out there taking cigarette breaks, and you can see the cigarette butts on the floor and acknowledge perhaps that it's disgusting, maybe even inconsiderate, but still feel that they are harmless and manageable. Just because you don't want to touch them doesn't mean they're dangerous in any way. They're just something undesirable for you. These glasses, as you're on this walk, enable you to see everything as harmless, completely harmless. I want you to manage one of these office workers has got some kind of infection or cough, and you can see them coughing or sneezing. You hear it, and you just create more space between you and them as you acknowledge it's disgusting, but harmless and manageable. As you continue walking up ahead, you can see that an inconsiderate member of the public has spat on the floor, and you can see the spit on the floor. As you acknowledge it's disgusting and also harmless. You wouldn't want to touch it. You wouldn't want to even stand near it, but it is harmless to you. Manageable, just by creating distance. I want you to imagine that from this point forwards, your vigilance that you've had to these things in the real world, you will now apply to your thinking. As you accept the suggestion, it is not the thing itself that causes anxiety, but the evaluation of the thing itself. And from this point forwards, all of that vigilance that you've been applying to real things in the real world, you will now apply to your own thinking, your own inner dialogue. And if you catch yourself saying something or doing something that has a presupposition of danger or the idea that you can't cope, I want you to imagine rewinding that thought or that behavior and then saying whatever you would say if you 100% believed that the thing itself was harmless and manageable. If your unconscious mind accepts this suggestion, let me know by nodding your head. That's right. Thoughts can be contagious. Thoughts can be infectious. And the real danger is in allowing untrue and unuseful thoughts to spread and multiply. And all you need to do is to rewind them and replace them with something that presupposes that they are both harmless and manageable, and notice just how much that anxiety reduces. Imagine returning to your home appreciating that the fresh air you've had from your walk is actually boosting your immune system, making you healthy, and accept of just how harmless and manageable everything was out there in the world. No threats, no dangers, just the occasional disgusting thing that is easily manageable for you. Imagine sleeping that night, sleeping the best night's sleep you've had in a long while, because you've changed your relationship with what you evaluate to be dangerous. And in doing so, you open up the resources to protect you from the things that exist that truly are dangerous, that need your unconscious mind to protect you from those things, not these harmless, manageable things that you've been worrying about too much. I want you to return to the present as you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're back in your own physical body right now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will awaken feeling resourceful, feeling at ease, feeling like you felt several years ago when you didn't have this hypervigilant evaluation, as you remember how much nicer it is to live in a world like that. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.